we don't get it, shut it down, shut it down, shut it down, shut it down. I lied. One more time. Come on now. And if we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down, shut it down, shut it down, shut it down. Well, everybody sounded real nice. Okay. Nice work, Tim. What do we think, Mike? Is it, should I do another one? Or okay. All right. Let's kick it up a whole step there, because I can't hardly play any chords. That's exciting. Yeah. While Mike gets finished setting up, I'm going to share one that you might know was written by Comrade Ann Feeney when she heard about the Sago mine disaster in 2006. That was an occasion when somebody was interested in making a bunch of money and spending a little more time on the golf course and putting a couple extra pennies in the bank. They didn't care if people died as a result. Does that sound familiar? Sound familiar to a little bit of some society we're seeing today? So Ann had a message for those guys. Sort of a little bit of a liberation theology, if you will. Kind of a gospel song that's a little surprising to hear from Ann, but should I put it in B flat, do you think, or I'll take it in A. Okay. Last night as I lay tossing and a-turning in my bed, I dreamed that I was in the presence of the Lord, with a dozen Sago miners who had gone to their reward. God looked down on those miners and God said, "Who has sent my faithful servants here unbidden to my throne? He will answer on that judgment day. Who has left their grieving families heartbroken and alone? He will answer on that judgment day. He will answer on that judgment day. He will answer on that judgment day. Yes, he will answer on that judgment day. He will answer on that judgment day. I have fashioned those who labor in my image, God did say. I did not call these miners home to me. Many years I had allotted them with friends and family. Now the heavens weep to hear their orphans pray. You cannot serve God and mammon. If it's mammon that you choose, you will answer on that judgment day. And what good is all your wealth anyway if your eternal soul you lose? You will answer on that judgment day. Come on, let's try this together. You will answer on that judgment day. You will answer on that judgment day. You got it? You will answer on that judgment day. You will answer on that judgment day. That's right. All right. Let's see. There's another verse there. Yeah, it goes, Mike. Yeah. Anyway, there's another verse, but we're up on stage, and anyway, it's a good song. Mike, you got one, huh?
You can have a big hand. Come on. I sing a song for you called People Gonna Rise Again. chaos, confusion, bloody reigns of recklessness, asylums of hatred and fear. From the cells of disillusion, crowded jails of hopelessness, prisons of the war profiteers. At the end of the rope, that darkest hour, in the face of superior firepower, holding on the reins, riding on the winds of change, people gonna rise again. From the desolation, rows and barren isolation holes, bottom where the nobodies dwell. From the gutters and cracks and wrong side of the tracks, Sodoms and Gomorrahs and hell. Like a red sun blazing on a misty morning, storm that form without warning. Breath of fresh air will come out of nowhere. People gonna rise again. You know the people gonna rise again. From the rust bowls and dust bowls and refugee camps, gulags of the global machine. From the sweatshops and cell blocks and slavery ramps, straight to the free market latrine. With the blood that ran through native warriors of old, spirits that raged so many ages ago, Everhart will beat in the face of defeat. People gonna rise again. You know the people gonna rise again. When the big cities lay in ruin, gardens of Eden are drained, out of the debris and the sea of apathy, seeds of a new world will spring to thee, folks. When the big bomb's been dropped, the ego's little world's been rocked, pillars of the system all fall. When things get much worse and Babylon is burst, your money's worth nothing at all. When it looked like love's been suffocated, faith and hope eradicated, out of the demise, baby, right before your eyes, people gonna rise again. You know the people gonna rise again. People gonna rise again, I know. People gonna rise again. Oh, people gonna rise again. People gonna rise again, I know my brother's gonna rise. I know my sister's gonna rise. I know our children gonna rise. People gonna rise again, oh yes they will. People gonna rise. I don't care how many times they push you around. I don't care how far down into the ground they try to drive you down. People gonna rise again. All right, I'm a member of the Green Party for two reasons. Number one, they want to bring all the silos together so we only have one silo. And we have one bomb, and it's the bomb of the people. And secondly, I like the Green Party because they're anti-capitalist. And they know we need a new system. This song goes out to Mel and all the people that have been fighting for a new system. People losing homes, people going bankrupt, people slipping over the edge, people all alone, people down on their luck, people murdered with a knee on their neck, people going hungry, people out of work, people with no health care, people getting angry, people going berserk, people getting crazy everywhere. Something's gotta change, this can't keep going on. With so much pain, there's something major wrong. But a change our mode of thinking, the whole ship is sinking. Plant a new seed, I think we're gonna need a new system. We need a new system, whole nother system. This old one's gotta go. Oh, it's gotta go. Polar caps are melting from the greenhouse gas. Millions of species disappear. Hurricanes are belting, deadly tornadoes blast. Floods, droughts, forest fires bigger every year. Profit machines raging out of control. Incinerate their poison in the air. Nuclear waste with nowhere to go. Deadly cancer spreading here and everywhere. Mother Earth is screaming, cast out the demon. It's way too late for some useless debate. She's trying to warn us, a storm is coming toward us. If the children are gonna breathe, I think you're gonna need a new system. We need a new system, whole nother system. This old one's gotta go. Oh yeah, it's gotta go. They want us brain dead in a bubble unaware. Oblivious, confused, disconnected, full of fear. But I know there's something better than this system here today. If we put our hearts together, we can find a better way. People getting robbed, people getting pissed off. People getting deeper in debt. People getting clobbered, people getting ticked off. And the worst ain't even here yet. Record-setting gaps between rich and poor. Working masses trapped in an economic war. But a change safer minds, we're running out of time. Plant a new seed, I think we're gonna need a new system. We need a new system. Whole nother system. We need a new system. We need a new system. Whole nother vision. A fundamental transition. I call it socialism. We need a new system. This old one's gotta go. Oh yeah, it's gotta go. Oh, it's gotta go. Oh, it's gotta go. I love all you people out there. I think we need a new system.
Thank you, Mike. Everyone, Mike Stout, give him a hand. And let's get another round of applause for Ted Everhart. He's starting us off here today. All right. I'd like to thank everyone again for coming to support Jay in his campaign for House District 23. I just want to point out a couple of, housekeeping things. Make sure you wear your mask, stay 6 feet apart from people, all that. We have some posters over here. The painted posters are painted by Merritt Bailey, and she's a volunteer for us. She donated our sign out front in kind donation, so thank you very much to Merritt. We also have, We also have posters with QR codes over here and at the table out front. They're for donations, volunteer sign-ups, and for our online merch store. We don't have much merch here, at least not any for Jay's campaign, but it's all online. You can order it, it'll ship in about a week or two. We have Green Party t-shirts over here. You can see Alex at the table, or I might be over there later. We'll have a volunteer, they're $15. Other than that, let's continue on with some fun for the night. So, here to speak next is Helen Gearhart. I'll let her do an intro of herself. Where did she go? All right. Woo! Local activist Helen Gearhart.
So glad to see you all. So I met Jay Walker quite a few years ago in a Pittsburghers for Public Transit meeting, and one of the things that immediately impressed me about him was his willingness to speak his mind truthfully and forthrightly, but with great respect for differences of opinion around that table. He also saw the deep interconnection between different issues that cannot be separated if we are going to survive and thrive as a community, city, state, country, and world. So I came here today, I look kind of grubby because I just came from a food distribution. This COVID pandemic, yeah, so many people are doing such good work, right? Trying to help each other out, trying to show solidarity, trying to show mutual support. But they are struggling against a system which has become so deeply corrupt, so much at the service of elites, wealthy elites, those who love power, those who are greedy, those who are profiting off of our violence, the violence of this deeply racist system, a system which is deeply xenophobic, which really preys on our work and our lives. So Jay, I see him every single day out educating people about how all of the issues that we struggle with every day, whether it's transit or housing or immigration or racism or healthcare, how we are going to breathe this air that has become so bad, right? He's constantly connecting the dots between these issues and arguing for the deepest systemic revolution. There is really no other way we're going to survive and thrive as a species if we don't start living as a neighbor within our larger ecology, without real respect and caring and solidarity for each other across all lines of identity, across all lines of experience. So he's somebody who not only speaks about equity, speaks about making the changes that we need to live as a species as we face climate change, he lives it every single day in his own life. He rides his bike all over the city, right? He works with groups that are addressing the needs for those systemic changes, and does so in a way that calls people in. I've seen Jay argue with people on Twitter and social media like about 50, I don't know how many times, but every time he does it respectfully. He does it in a way that really encourages real conversation, that encourages learning and problem solving. We need people like Jay who actually act on what they believe, day in, day out, who encourage real problem solving, who encourage real dialogue and real change forthrightly and courageously. We need people at every level of government. There is no way that we're going to make it by focusing all of our attention on any one office. We need to make sure that as we plan our communities, as we plan how to address the deepest crises of our times, that we have people who can work together, who can challenge power structures, who can problem solve, and who will act with the ultimate aim of compassionate revolution, for a society that is based on compassion and justice and truth-telling. So thank you all so much. I cannot endorse Jay Walker more ardently as a deeply ethical and smart and compassionate person who would serve us so well. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the kind and inspiring words, Helen. We're going to take a 5-minute break to just mill around, get to know each other, check out our, like I said, our virtual store. You can sign up to volunteer, check out our t-shirts for the Green Party, get to know each other. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more speeches and music. Thank you.
And I did not pick. I asked her. She's like, oh yeah, that way I'll have someone to vote for besides myself. And I was like, See, Jay was like, was it definitely him, or was it some guy just being snarky? But
No, you go ahead.
I know that Dan Frankel is tall and kind of weird, kind of tall. And I feel like this is. But I could have said something I could have been funny. I could have been okay. But I just was
just talking about how awesome Jay Walker is.
Yeah. So that's a bummer. I wish I could redo that moment. But I mean, this is hard to happen. This world no hard to try it makes sense. It's not unheard of. Oh no, I was harassing people. There was with the occupancy limit, on wait of mine, it just really backs up down.
I see it.
in the morning, like they always have a huge line. Like,
Can you show that to girls?
I usually get there at like 11 or 11:30, and there's usually not much of a wait.
Wow, that's a lot of kayak. I wonder what that feels like driving that thing. It feels like a sail.
There's like
on
pros
it.
and cons. Like if you get there early,
Kind of going through each of them was about like how they were different.
Really? They're like each have a different
8:30 for when they open at 9.
They maneuver around.
Yeah, I feel like it's not worth it. Yeah. But it was so crazy, like having this like semester, like during the weekend. And like people were like mad at me, like how
It's in my head now.
People were like really like not okay, and I was like, okay, but like don't be mad at me.
So it's amazing they were to actually remember.
Yeah, right? It is actually pretty good. Keep it rattling around in your head.
I didn't think you did. Yeah, but I didn't think that.
Barely know what they're
Really?
Yeah, because they're not really very constant eating, I guess.
Maybe it's just metabolism is higher because you're eating more or something. Maybe just eat healthier than I do. I'm sorry. Are you hard too? I'm hungry.
What are we going to cook the food today? Anybody have any ideas? Is it bird? We caught on it? Oh, ouch. There's a flatter spot maybe there.
I love Jay, but I keep saying, I'm like,
It's really like, I mean, somebody said something like 30 days or 31 days.
This is also a spot.
Yeah, like there's no Republicans. So like, yeah, but like for like other races or like
I have to go home at some point between now and tonight and pack because I'm going to be away for a week. I got to do that so I can fend for myself, I guess. You guys have to do something. I have to. It's going to take me like maybe I could do it after.
I know. I can't remember.
We haven't had this one. We have all the same.
No, you're right though. I know I can't think of the name. Jay also tried not to get I didn't think so, but I think I wrote him in.
Hello. Hi everybody. I wanted to thank all of you for coming to this event. I'm so happy to see so many friendly faces. And I wanted to thank all the musicians who are supportive of our party, and they're great musicians. Check out their CDs, look them up, and also all the speakers who are all activists that I respect. I've been following them for a long time, so I appreciate all of that support, all of the kind words people are saying about me, And lastly, I wanted to thank everybody who put on this event. All of the volunteers that are here, working the front desk. I want to thank Kelly, who led the organizing, and Tom, who managed the facility and getting everything set up. This is an amazing event, way beyond my wildest imagination. And yeah, thank you everybody. Thanks for all the support. There's no way I could have done it without all of you. And we're still going. We're going to be going for a long time, so stay tuned. All right, thanks so much. I'm going to hand off the mic to Kelly, who's going to introduce the next person.
Thank you, Jay. All right, we're going to bring Mike and Ted back up in any order they prefer or together. So we're going to have some more music. Feel free to sing along. Ted directs the Pittsburgh Labor Choir, which is a sing-along group. He's really fantastic. I've joined in on the Zoom calls and it's really fun. Even though you have to mute yourself because everyone can't sing at the same time on Zoom, it's still really fun. He makes it really interactive, and it's a blast. We're singing about stuff we're passionate about and doing it with people we love. So thank you, Ted. Take it away.
I feel like you say too many nice things about somebody, their face is liable to just fall off onto the ground. Anyway, the next one I'm gonna do, or rather we are, is one that everybody knows really well, and if you don't know the chorus, you will very shortly. I'm thinking verses 1, 2, 4, and 5 and 6. Is that good? We'll take it easy. We'll go through them all, okay? And I'll do some harmonies for you too. If you can hold down the melody, which goes like this. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Okay, melody's the same for the verse and the chorus. Super easy, okay? I'm gonna take it a little slower though, because there's a lot of words. When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? But the union makes us strong. Let's hear it. Solidarity. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Is there aught? Is there aught we hold in common with the greedy parasite who would lash us into serfdom and would crush us with his might? Is there anything left to us but to organize and fight? For the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Yeah. They have taken untold millions. They have taken untold millions that they never toiled to earn. But without our brain and muscle, not a single wheel can turn. We can break their haughty power, gain our freedom when we learn that the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. In our hands is placed a power greater than their hoarded gold, greater than the might of armies multiplied 1,000-fold. We can bring to birth a new world from the ashes of the old, for the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. One more time, come on now. Solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. Okay. Yeah, that sounded good, everybody. Yeah. You got one, Mike? All right. Here we go, Mike.
Song off my 9th or 10th CD, I can't remember which one, called We Need a Revolution. I can feel it in your heart, I can see it in your eyes, I can hear it in the pain of the hungry child's cries. And when I look into your soul, I can feel the fires grow, see the flames shooting all across the sky. From Cairo to Sudan, La France to Deutschland, from Buenos Aires to Bombay, Moscow, Beijing to Pittsburgh, PA, I can hear you. In trouble, paradise lays in rubble, empire's bubble has started to burst, perfect storms form as the poets all warn, for the proletariat it will only get worse. Age left reform, beaten, battered down and torn, these scoundrels don't know compromise. Damn the fear and lies, our destiny cries, we need a revolution now, we need a revolution now. In the sweatshops and the cages of the economic outrages, from the darkest pages of wage slavery, on the killing fields underneath the iron heels, blinded by the wheels of a plutocracy, famine and drought, hunger raging all about, for the have-nots there's no other way out. The system is broke, the truth needs spoke, we need a revolution now. We need a revolution now. Greedy robber barons sucking our blood, these vampires don't know how to die. We need the fire of a much higher love to defeat them. We must unseat them. It's a question of survival. The bell has been rung, the final battle's begun. Judgment day has come in the land of broken dreams. The working masses choke, their necks inside a rope, and get indentured servants to the global machine. Stand up and rise, we better get organized. These madmen won't go without our fight. We need something like a world general strike. I said we need something like a world general strike. We need a revolution now. We need a revolution now. We need a revolution now. We need right now. Not bad for 71 years old.
Not bad at all. Let's give both Ted and Mike another round of applause. All right, next I'd like to have another speaker come up to voice her support for Jay. Her name is Cohen. She's a dedicated member of the Green Party of Allegheny County, and she's also a physician, and she advocates for Medicare for all.
Okay, I'm glad to see all these people out here tonight. I do wish, I'm going to be honest, I wish there were more African Americans out here. Myself and Carl Redwood are trying to get more involved, and we've been having a little group meeting and talking about moving away from moving to some real independent politics that supports us. But I just want to say a few words about why I'm for Jay. And before I say what I wrote, I want to tell you, Jay must be a really formidable person, because I realized that I only met him less than 2 years ago, but I feel like I've known him forever. So there's something about Jay. He's really, I think he's a part of why I'm voting for him. I can't vote for him because I'm not in this district, but part of why I'm supporting him is because he's a really committed, sincere person who's really committed to the struggle, and he really lives it. In fact, the other day I asked him, when do you work? Because every time I turn around, he's involved in the struggle. So the reason why, that's one of the reasons why I'm supporting him. Another is because he's for what's really a people's agenda. He is for universal health care coverage. He's for Medicare for all. He's for free college tuition. I really know about that personally because I raised 6 nieces and nephews who lost their mother. And they all went to college. And guess what? I'm a broke doctor. So, because college is just outrageous, and I think all of you know that. He's brave and bold enough to be against fracking and against other industrial pollution. And again, that's a personal issue for me because I didn't have asthma till I moved to Western Pennsylvania 40 years ago. He's for a living wage. He's for supporting democracy through expanding voting rights. He's for community control of the police. And he's not, he doesn't equivocate on this. He's for it unequivocally. He doesn't have any ifs, ands, or buts about him. He is just for it, and he's for it no matter who he talks to, no matter where he is. And I think he'll be that way I know he'll be that way if he makes it up to Harrisburg. Jay is also not corrupted by any big money interests, and I could never see Jay being corrupted by big money interests. He's very, as I said before, he's very active in the community. He's always there. Every demonstration I go to, I see Jay there, and he calls people up and tells them, "Are you going there?" And he shows you how to use Slack if you don't know how to use it. So he's just a really good guy. And I think that if we could get him voted in, he and there's a couple other people up there who may not be Greens but are decent, like Summer Lee and Sarah Inamorata. If we could get him up there, we could have a real team of people that could really raise some hell.
Thank you, Claire. So glad to have you here. We're going to have another speaker speak now, who is also from the Green Party. Her name is Tara Yaney. She is an elected Green in office. She's in Edgewood Borough Council. She will tell you a little bit more about how she met Jay, so I'll actually let her do that herself. Come on up, Tara. So I also wanted to extend thanks to all of you guys. It really is great to see all of you out supporting Jay. And I did fix my stupid glasses so that they wouldn't fog up. Is that better? Better? Is that a little bit better? Can everybody hear me? A little bit, okay.
Ice cream cone. Like you're gonna lick an ice cream cone. Get real close to it.
I could just do this, right? All right. Yeah, I do this for a living, so I should know how to use a microphone. So anyway, thank you all for coming out for my friend Jay. This is great. I'm excited to see so many people supporting him. And thank you, Kelly, and everybody who's taken care of him on his campaign. I think that's fantastic. Yeah, I met Jay playing Ultimate Frisbee, and he's just so tenacious on the field that I kind of got to know him. And what I was always impressed with is, you know, we have Ultimate Frisbee. I don't know if those of you who play, you know this, but the rest of us, we kind of have to scrounge for leftover fields that no one else is using at all times. And most of them are like up big hills and out in the boonies, and we have to go lots of places. And anyway, Jay always shows up on his bicycle. And I was always impressed by that. And so we got talking about bicycling, and then eventually we got talking about public transportation. And then eventually, you know, Jay started talking about the Green Party, and I'm sure that all of you have been kind of sucked into his orbit in the same way. And it's great. It's great. He's exposed me to so many things, including, you know, politics, that I would have never come across. And so I was kind of writing stuff down that I was going to say about Jay, and I just kept scribbling them all out because I was like, well, these are people that know Jay. This is super obvious, you know. Jay's a good guy. He wants to save the world, and I'm sure all of you know that. But I think as I scratched things out, I realized that that's what's special about Jay. I mean, it's obvious because it's written all over him. Every day, every minute, he's out there trying to fix something, trying to make something better. And I don't know if I know anybody else that I can say that about, that dedicated to all causes, you know. And he's dedicated, I mean, there's so many things that he's thinking about making our world a little bit better on so many levels. You know, he's going out trying to figure out how to make things better. He's trying to ask people, he's getting people together to discuss all these things, and you know, and it's all through these conversations. He's willing to change his mind, he's willing to work hard, and that's pretty special. Jay is the real thing, and you guys all probably know that, because you can't miss it. I trust him implicitly, and I mean, there's obviously, you know, politicians you would say that about, and there's really not that many people that I've met that are like that. So I'm really excited that he's running for office. I'm really excited that that he's presenting a lot of opportunities for us to change up what's going on in our state, in our local areas, and I hope that he gets up there and gets to fix all the things that he wants to fix, because that'll make our world so much better. So Jay, more power to you, and you know, we're here with you, and thanks for doing this for us. Tara. Wow, I am so thrilled to see so many smiling faces in the crowd, and everyone is really excited about this campaign. I'm excited about this campaign. So I will get us to the moment we've all been waiting for. We're gonna have Jay come speak.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I want to start by thanking everyone that helped make this campaign happen. Thank you so much to everybody on my campaign team. The difference between the one-man show campaign I ran in 2018 and the full-fledged team we have this year has been amazing. Yesterday I walked out of my apartment and was floored to see my face plastered all over my street and the surrounding streets. I had no idea that was happening, and it was awesome to see. We're functioning like a machine, and being able to focus on being a candidate this cycle has been amazing. So thank you all. Double shout out to Kelly, Devraj, and Dylan for breathing fire into the campaign and constantly pushing us to step our game up. There was like a switch that flipped maybe like a month and a half ago, and everything got very serious, and that's what we needed to happen. So thank you. Thank you to my partner Laura for living the full-time activist life with me, while also making sure that I have fun and relax once in a while. She's been nothing but supportive while herself doing nonstop amazing work in the Pittsburgh community. And thank you to the Green Party for never ever giving up on the life or death issues, regardless of whether there's money in them or fame in them. And thank you for believing in me and for doing me the honor of allowing me to represent our party in this election. Thank you to the Pittsburgh Ultimate community and all of my teammates over the years who helped me escape whenever I needed to from whatever I needed to, and also kept me in okay shape. And last but definitely not least, thank you to my mother, Ting, who's watching from New York on Facebook. She raised me entirely on her own through a ton of difficult situations, and I 100% would not be who I am today if it wasn't for her. All right, let's get into it. On November 8th, 2016, I went to bed not knowing who would become president of our country. I did know one thing. I was not happy with what led us to this point. I was not happy with either candidate. I woke up in the middle of the night disgusted about having zero impact on our government at all levels. Literally none of the people I was connected to had any influence on how our lives were governed. Soon afterwards, I joined a grassroots Democrats group and began my journey down the rabbit hole. I found myself trying to engage, starting like many people, calling Senator Toomey endlessly. I attended town halls, knocked doors, but it still left me feeling like an outsider looking in, a cog in a political machine that wasn't prioritizing the issues important to me. It's not what a democracy should look like. I turned to more activist organizations like the Green Party, DSA. There was lots of small events that shaped me into who I am today. Meetings, rallies, public hearings, protests, pickets, hundreds of these events all combined to bring me here to this stage. Many of you here are my friends, and I'm sure even people who only know me a little could name things that I'm passionate about pretty easily. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Having said that, I've always been a guy to look forwards and never back. I rarely speak about my past before moving to Pittsburgh. Many of you know me. Very few of you know where I came from. So here are some things you don't know about me. I was born in the projects of Alphabet City in downtown Manhattan. My family was on welfare, wrapped up in drugs. We were suffering from the PTSD from my father being drafted into Vietnam. My mother whisked me away to Taiwan to live with her family. I was eventually kicked out of Taiwan because in Taiwan, citizenship is passed along through your father and not your mother. So I had to move back to America. My mother and I came back to the United States. We couch surfed for maybe a year and a half with family, friends, Before my mother, she was working multiple jobs, was able to get a place for us to live on our own. Fast forward 10 years, I got lucky. I got into a dream public high school filled with smart people, many of whom came from similarly rough and immigrant backgrounds like me. My mother was able to become a unionized teacher, which helped her purchase a home with very little money, and when the time came, I was able to attend college. So many people who started in the same place as me were not as lucky. I've been lucky, but I'm still struggling. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy and healthy and have a roof over my head, which I'm more than thankful for. Having said that, I'm still weighed down by student loan debt. I'm still at the whim of my landlord deciding to raise rents if he chooses. I still can't afford a car, which our society is designed around. For a long time, I was afraid to go to the doctor because ringing up a big bill would have bankrupted me. I was afraid, and technically I was covered by the Affordable Care Act, but functionally I was uninsured. Even now that I have reasonable coverage, I'm still hesitant. Going to the doctor is just not something that I do. I'm running so that people across the state don't have to be lucky like I was to thrive in our society. We need a ton of changes to hopefully one day make that the case. So what do we need? First of all, we need to ban fracking now. Say it with me a couple times. Ban fracking now. Ban fracking now. I knew it 2 years ago, and I've spent 2 years learning more and more about it and getting more and more mad. In 2018, I was disappointed that we weren't talking about banning fracking. Since then, we've had Greta Thunberg raising the issue worldwide of climate change. We've had climate-fueled natural disasters all across the world. We've had the Green Party's own Green New Deal become a major part of mainstream politics. We've had the Pennsylvania Attorney General's grand jury report that came out recently, like 6 months ago. They confirmed that everything the fracking activists were saying was true, but worse. You can read all about it in Amity and Prosperity. Not only was Washington County getting destroyed by fracking companies, but our DEP was working hand in hand with them to do it. I was furious. I was even more furious that the report came out and nobody heard about it because both parties in Harrisburg are bought by the fossil fuel industry.
That's right.
We're not just literally poisoning our children and killing them at a young age with rare cancers. We're also ruining the water supplies of entire towns like the Woodlands in Butler County. On top of that, we're ruining the climate for my generation and generations to come, not just in Pittsburgh, not just in Pennsylvania, not just in the United States, but for the entire damn globe. And for what? To pipe gas to Philadelphia, to ship it abroad to turn into plastic? And now we're building a giant plastics factory in Beaver County so we can make unnecessary plastic right here in our backyards? No. Hell no. And that's just one single issue. I could go on a rant about every single issue we're campaigning on. This year, the same issues from 2 years ago, we're talking about the same issues, but nothing has changed since then. Talking about getting money out of politics. The corruption in Harrisburg is unreal, and it can only continue because so many of our representatives can somehow keep their heads down while constantly tooting their own horns. Right now, you can give a car to a legislator, and it's perfectly legal. What the hell is that? That's not a democracy. Our horrible taxing system that gives massive tax breaks to corporations and the wealthy on the backs of low and middle income Pennsylvanians like so many of us here today. Our ever-rising college tuitions, which have been a problem for years. On top of that, this year our colleges are trying to charge us full tuition and dorm fees for online courses while straight up lying that courses could switch to in-person at any time. Most of all, our need for single-payer health care, a massively popular policy that still somehow has made minimal traction in our extremely undemocratic system of government. Our need for Medicare for all is apparent now more than ever during the COVID pandemic. We have a giant list of problems, and we've proposed solutions for every single one of them in my campaign. I'm most excited about our race this year because everyone we've talked to on the streets in our district supports these policies. We deserve a representative who will fight for these policies in Harrisburg. We know my opponent, Dan Frankel, won't fight for these policies. We've had 21 years of evidence to show that. Time's up. We can't wait any longer while looking directly into the face of climate catastrophe. We can't wait any longer to address our deep and systemic racial injustices. We can't wait any longer to guarantee basic human rights to the residents of our district and our state. We cannot wait any longer to pass legislation to fund public transit before funding shrivels up with the sunsetting of Act 89. We need action now, and when I get to Harrisburg in January, we're gonna see that action come to life. Please join me in this movement. Support me on this campaign, but more importantly, show up with me when we need people power in the streets to force the changes that we deserve. From now until November and for the years to come after that, we all know that voting is not enough. Nothing will be solved overnight. We are the only ones who can save us. Let's go and get it.
Yeah, let's hear it again for Jay. As Jay said, we are the ones who are going to save ourselves. So we have some posters around where you can sign up to volunteer. You just scan it with your phone. We have a form online. We need volunteers on this campaign because we are a 100% grassroots funded, volunteer-based campaign. We only spend money on printing materials on what we need to get out the vote, to get out Jay's name, and to get people to know how important these issues are and how much better Jay is equipped to face these issues. So we can't do it without your help. If you can donate $5 or 30 minutes, it goes such a long way at the state level. So please sign up on our form. You can email jtingwalker@gmail.com with any questions you have. Go to jtingwalker.com, check out our website. And yeah, I'm just so excited to see so many supporters here. We're gonna take another 5-10 minute break. We're gonna have some more music and a little bit more inspirational speeches, and just get to know each other. Meet your neighbors. Thanks everyone.
That's all right. I always carry extra. I can't sing. I think when you're up, I like
It could have been a lot more.
Come here and let me size you up.
That's good for you.
Are you going to the I don't actually remember the rally. It's like by Stop the Station. It's like their alternative of like what they previously spent on. I feel like I know a lot of people going, and I'm like, wow, you know. But I think
You wouldn't be able to hear that without.
I think that you mentioned it as the environmentalist like that.
Can you hear the words I'm saying? Okay, cool. Written off the mask.
What's that? A sharp breath on like downbeat before you need to start singing does not work.
Oh no.
That fails. Yeah, so you need to like sing.
I've been trying to teach it. And it's like,
It turned out really pretty. I'm sure these days like 10 plus feet back and you just don't want to.
stopping the so I have to get outside of PNHP. It's like the Green Party and the Party for Socialism and Liberation. It's usually like so it's not like a huge thing, but it's like a very it's something. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's something like it's like every other Friday and every other Saturday. Or like I think they exactly. They have like they like have like I mean I guess it's kind of like they It's a good one. Yeah.
Especially with everything like what's coming out.
I don't know, you go ahead and do it.
Yeah, you're ready to
Call it on that. I got like 15 more reports.
I know. I could pull. I probably know all these mining songs. I haven't done so many times, but I feel like they're probably. We need to start compiling.
Everything he says, I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Test.
Here she comes. I'm coming. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I was like checking my watch. Thank you. Next up, we have local singer-songwriter Alexis Thompson. She's also a member of the Green Party. She sings, and she's an activist in the environmental community, and she sings about the things that she's passionate about. Take it away, Alexis.
Thank you guys for letting me play here. I grew up in Lightning Rod Hollow, that's out in Punxsutawney area.
Yeah.
I've lived a lot of other places since then. This song was inspired by the first funeral I went to. Millie in her black dress, black hat and her black lace veil, cold bead necklace around her neck as she bids her last farewell. If I were in Aunt Millie's shoes, I'd tell them to go to hell, 'cause a miner's pay when he's in the grave is pennies in a well. I gotta take this off, I'm sorry. Millie met Benjamin when they were 17. At the miners' dance they first held hands. Now she still wears his ring, but now she's in a church pew and her mother's by her side, and Benjamin is in a box made of Pennsylvania pine. Millie in her black dress, black hat and her black lace veil, cold bead necklace around her neck as she bids her last farewell. If I were in Aunt Millie's shoes, I'd tell them to go to hell, 'cause a miner's pay when he's in the grave is pennies in a well. The company that he worked for said they were not to blame, and Millie was too poor to pay to fight and file a claim. So as I stare at the sunlight shining on the old oak floor, I wonder if a coal mine looks just like hell's front door. Millie in her black dress, black hat and her black lace veil, cold bead necklace around her neck as she bids her last farewell. If I were in Aunt Millie's shoes, I'd tell them to go to hell, 'cause a miner's pay when he's in the grave is pennies in a well. Oh, a miner's pay when he's in the grave is pennies in a well. I wrote this one at the
month into COVID pandemic.
I am a woman in Leone's West. Blue eyes, long hair, and perfect round breasts. We measure the caliber of a man's manliness by how little he notices me. And when the close-up comes, I stare into the eyes of a concrete Virgin Mary. She calls my bluff, some godless tough guy you are in a Roman Catholic cemetery. Well, I'm only here because I followed some breezes, helped her rob and build her nest in the crown of Jesus. We're barely surviving while man does what he pleases, but I admit your holiness eases me. In all the long shots, there's a gambler with his thoughts, and a horse works to her death for some water. And where the tavern walls are weak, the desert sun bleeds in and exposes what we'll do for $1. I know how to make a harmonica sing, and I know how to send a bullet through the rain, give a dying man a cigarette to help ease his pain. But I don't need an audience to praise me.
Yeah. So I wrote this one more. I wrote this song back when Standing Rock protests were going on. I am a super shy person, and like I would protest, but I'm like so scared of people. But all of you who do that, you know, any activists out there, you're my heroes. Jay, you're awesome. I was so happy when, yeah. And I wrote this song for, I didn't know any of you then, but I'm sure I wrote this song for a lot of you. So it's called Same Sunset.
They'll ask you why you're crying and why you are upset. They'll tell you you're weak, but I've got news for you, friend. Everyone holds a set of reins in their hands, and your horses are wilder than theirs have ever been. So let them watch from their saddles as they unload their guns, and laugh as your herd gets rattled and runs. Then their hooves kick up dust, and their dust fills your lungs, and you choke and you cry, but you keep holding on, 'cause you know it won't matter how far you get. We are all riding into the same sunset. Now there's a battle in gray and people on each side, and some of them would kill you for the sake of their own pride. But you'd rather walk away, follow your soft heart. Labeled yellow, yellow is the color of the stars, and the sun and the lion and the canary and the wheat. They think they're in control, but you've got what they need, and you know it won't matter how far you get. We are all riding into the same sunset. their boats, and they'll saddle up their trucks. They'll saddle up their oil and leave it all for rust. Then their saddles wear out and their saddles won't work, but they're glued to their saddles as their saddles hit the dirt, and the dirt will cover up all those seeds that you've sown, and you'll pierce through their saddles, and you'll grow and you'll grow and you'll grow like a forest after wildfires burn. Stronger and brighter and wilder than you were, 'cause you know it won't matter how far you get. We are all riding into the same sunset. You know it won't matter how far you get. We are all riding into the same sunset. You can sing that last verse with me again. You know it won't matter how far you get. We are all riding into the same sunset.
Thank you, Alexis.
Just yell.
Thank you, Alexis. That was lovely. I want to take this moment to thank all of our performers once again, all of our speakers, all of our volunteers who made this event possible. This couldn't have happened without the help of many, many people. So I just want to give them all a huge thank you, especially our campaign staff, my volunteer coordinator, Alex, Raj and Dylan, of course, Riley, Jay. I also want to thank everyone who showed up to, just support, listen, hang out. It couldn't have happened without you either. So give yourselves a round of applause. We have a couple more speakers before we head out for the evening. Next up is Laura Weens from Pittsburghers for Public Transit. Woo!
All right, so I should be clear, I'm not from Pittsburghers from Public Transit tonight, but I am from Pittsburghers for Public Transit, just in general. So thank you so much for having it. Alexis, that music was so beautiful. My name is Laura Chu Weens, and I'm going to stop for a second right at the outset and say that Ting Walker has had a profound influence on my life, and I don't think he knows it. Because we're both half Chinese, and when I came to Pittsburgh 10 years ago, I was just Laura Weens. But having no community here and no one to know how much being Chinese is really important to me and central to my identity, and I have two moms that emigrated to the US from China, it was like a real hole in how I was connecting with and understood by other people. And then I met Ting Walker. And so I'll start again. So I'm Laura Chu Weens, and my children are called Hazel Chu Cooper and Gabriel Chu Cooper. That's an aside. So Jay is a really special person. He's humble and he's curious, always desirous of new knowledge, and he's a proselytizer, which makes him very close to my heart. He has invited me and called me to his Asian American Pacific Islander reading group countless times, and I have never attended, although I know that I ought to, and it's the right thing to do, and I fail to show up, but he continues to call me and he persists. Right? He invites you to learn with him, and he's a convener and a bringer of people together. Shady Side, Complete Streets, the Green Party, president of the Allegheny County Transit Council, and he's out everywhere. You go anywhere and you see Ting Walker. But he's not just out here sampling the social justice wares. He's going to learn, but he also will stand on his principles.
He's against fracking, right? Clean air, clean water as a human right. He's for public transit, mobility as a human right. He's for quality, affordable housing, housing as a human right. In one of the most progressive districts in Pennsylvania, we need to be able to count on a legislator that is standing for those values, right? That means a commitment both to policy that uplifts all of our residents, and particularly marginalized residents, and a process that gives them a voice and decision-making power to determine how collective resources should be spent. And decisions that are being made in Harrisburg right now they're a zero-sum game, right? When legislators are voting for billions of dollars of tax breaks for single-use plastics producers, that comes with it an existential cost, and the fact that those monies cannot be used towards things that all of us actually do need. And we don't have the luxury of waiting to hope that Jay's sitting competitor will actually do better, right? Black families are being pushed out of their homes today, and that will continue to happen unless something changes in Harrisburg. Corporations like Amazon, like UPMC are continuing to pay poverty wages while still paying less in taxes than you and I do, and that's happening today. And cracker plants and steel mills are causing irreversible harm to our air and our water, so that kids in the Mon Valley have asthma, and Black mothers are seeing some of the highest maternal mortality rates in the United States. And that's happening today, and they have predisposition to diseases like the coronavirus that many other people don't, right? And my children can't afford to wait any longer for the right kinds of decisions to be made. So I know what side Jay is standing in. I know what issues he's for and who he's with. And that's why I'm really proud to stand here today and support him, and I hope that all of you will too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laura. Last but not least, we have one more speaker who is an activist, Friends of Jay, and I just want to thank once again everyone who has come to speak on behalf of Jay. It's awesome that we got 5 different speakers to speak about different things that have to do with how they met Jay, but with how passionate he is about the community. I think Laura said it best that he doesn't stop trying. He still will text you every time to go to that reading group, to go to that ultimate game. Like, how many times have I gotten a text from Jay that says, "Hey, come to pick up"? So he is adamant, and that is what he's going to do in office too. So I want to introduce Judy Suh.
Hi everyone. Thank you. I'm a volunteer organizer and activist for several housing justice organizations in the city. I'm also a founding member of the local chapter of an Asian American Labor Alliance organization, and along with Jay, I'm a founding member of the infamous Pittsburgh area Asian American Pacific Islander reading group that Laura just talked about. So I'm here to talk about my friend Jay, Ting Walker. But before I get into his many wonderful qualities, just ask yourself, because I've asked myself this a lot, have you ever met anybody and were convinced that they came from the future? Have you ever met someone like that? This is the way that I think of Jay. And I'm not talking about like the dystopian near future that it's so hard to see beyond in our unprecedented times, but the kind of future where we're not only just surviving, but we're flourishing and thriving, right? And this is exactly what I see in Jay. Kind of person and representative who thinks and acts in ways that are all too uncommon now, but that we can see as being crucial in the future, where our future is good and thriving for our region and our state. So why do I think Jay is from the future? There are 2 main reasons. The first reason is that he's a really wonderful combination of the practical and the visionary, right? Like, you all know Jay. You know that you can ask him about House Bill 39, what that even means, why a ban on gifts to public officials might affect road infrastructure, right, in the future. Like, he knows so much about the dreamscape of policy wonks that work on really specific issues in really specific sectors, right? And he knows the House bills and the acts and all that stuff. Really pragmatic thinker. But at the same time, he's a visionary. He has his eyes on what we need to build in the long term. So I think it's his experience as an organizer, as well as his lifelong passion for justice, that have built that kind of vision. He sees really far down the road, where someday we're not mired in a system that's built for the profit of the few and the powerful, where the graft and the everyday kinds of complacency we see, including in our elected officials, makes that graft possible. And he sees to a future where, you know, that stuff is in the rear view mirror. It's not in the space around us and surrounding us all the time. The second reason is that, as Laura mentioned, he's a connector. Jay is so invested in building coalitions. So I first met Jay at one of the annual racial justice summits at a panel for Black and Asian coalition building. And after we met there, we eventually founded the AAPI reading group, Pittsburgh area. And our group was formed out of the desire to fight anti-Black racism and anti-Asian racism. But before we did that, I kept running into him in all of these different contexts, right? Like, I would see him at a protest for a protest against anti-immigration legislation. I'd see him at protests that were fighting against the displacement of Black residents of Pittsburgh. So, you know, he is so invested in each of these communities. He's invested in communities all over Pittsburgh, I think, that are most affected by bad or indifferent policies and legislation. And he knows how to make us all invest in each other, right? Build a mutual investment in each other. So my own commitment to environmental justice is kind of based on, and thanks to Jay's patient way of explaining how something I had thought of as something that's not really rooted in racial justice actually is. Right? So Jay has that quality of connecting us to each other, and it's something that's really missing in our elected officials today. So I think everyone sitting here and standing here recognizes that we need coalitions going forward if we're going to survive, right? And thrive as well. And Jay has that gift for building coalitions in all the communities he works in, and he works hard at it. So we need this kind of vision, practicality, and work ethic, especially in our elected officials, if we're going to get the future we all want and need. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. So you've heard from some of the people who are close to Jay. You've heard from Jay himself. You've also enjoyed a little bit of music. That's all we have for you tonight. Before leaving, I just want to give another big shout out to everyone who made this possible, especially Bill Britton. He's the owner of Shadyside Nursery, and all of the staff. They let us use this venue for free, so I'm just so grateful that we were able to come here and have this event, especially during the times of COVID, because this is the first time that I've seen some of our volunteers in person. This is the first time I've met Alexis in person. I've heard her play over Zoom. So it's just like, it's so great to be able to come together as a community in person, and I'm very grateful for being able to have this event here. So thank you, Bill. Thank you all for coming, and I hope to see you all again as we build this campaign. There are still 32 days till Election Day, and we have a lot of work to do. We've done a lot of work, but we still have a lot of work to do. So sign up to do whatever you can. Just every small bit counts, and it helps us so much. And even just coming here tonight is great. Thank you all for coming. Stick around, chat, meet up with Jay if you haven't said hi to Jay yet. And this has been great. Thank you so much.